Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. It is fantastic that you are here. Well, I trust you enjoyed my last video on Aussie country duo Carter and Carter. And through their song Stand Tall, we finish off the story of Jessica, and she did manage to find herself in the end. So I trust you enjoyed that one. Well, we're going on to a guy today. He was born in London in 1948, and certainly he carried on the tradition that Bob Dylan had done. He was an incredible storyteller and an incredible songwriter, just one of these guys who plays his guitar and does his thing. But because he is able to write the songs he's able to write, he has found a real resonance with the world. It's a resonance about peace. It's a resonance about the world being a better place. Just has a way of writing about him. Now, in the 1970s, this guy was huge. We're talking about Cat Stevens. He's also known as Yusuf Islam, and so you probably notice in my playlist I've got this guy under Y, out of respect for his name Yusuf Islam, which he actually adopted after a conversion, which I'll talk about in a little while. So Cat Stevens, Yusuf Islam, is a songwriter, multi-instrumentalist. He takes his inspiration from folk, pop and rock genres. He has very much across all of those well and truly. Some awards that and certainly between 1967 and 1978, in his few incantations that he's had, I think I counted 27 albums, and there are 55 singles in amongst those. And obviously many of those albums, particularly one of his albums, Tea for the Tillerman, that have gone gold or platinum status. So this guy has found incredible success indeed. A few awards that he's received. He's a bit of a humanitarian, so he's been acknowledged with a World Award and also a Man of Peace through the Nobel Peace Laureate Awards in 2004. He's received a couple of honorary doctorates, one from the University of Gloucester and one from the University of Exeter. He has won an ASCAP Song of the Year Award for First Cut as the Deepest, which is one of his. In 2006, he was judged as the 49th best living songwriter in a top 100 list. He's received an Ivor Novello Award in 2007. In 2014, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool. In 2018, he received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the BBC Radio 2. He's a Grammy-nominated artist, and in 2019, he was inducted into the Songwriting Hall of Fame. Just to name a few of his awards, there are many others, but I thought I'd just highlight a few of them. Now, obviously in the early 1970s, interesting, such a prolific period of music, the early 1970s. There was probably something, no one much bigger than Cat Stevens at this point. And then in 1978, as he was just doing what he normally did, he discovered Islam and became a follower of that religion, pretty well ceasing to perform, selling his guitars and doing a whole heap of things. Obviously, when you're young, you get passionate about things, and he had such a confronting experience that he gave up performing for a while. And adopting the name pretty much Yusuf Islam from that point. But he did come back and perform in 1990, and I think it's quite nice to actually see that you wrestle with your beliefs and you work out a smooth way going forward. This is very much the case with Cat Stevens, or Yusuf Islam. Usernames, you can interchange the names a bit. I think, Yusuf Islam certainly is the name that he likes to go by. Sometimes Yusuf without the Islam as well. Now, when we get onto his songs, there are just so many songs that we can talk about. I remember him doing a cover of Morning as Broken, absolutely stunning piano part in that one. Their first cut is the deepest I've talked about. But there's probably one song in particular I wanted to talk about today. And this came off the classic T for the Tellerman album from 1970. This album sold 3 million copies in the USA alone. This is a song, Father and Son. Now, this is probably a continuation of a story I did a little while back with the Casting Crowns and their song City on the Hill, and particularly focusing on the young and the old. And in the particular that video, I talked about the fact that the young have the exuberance and wanting to go for it, and the old have the wisdom and experience because they were there once themselves. So this is what the song Father and Son is all about. It's very much the song of, and this is probably one of Cat Stevens' most well-known songs, this one too. It's a story of a father talking to his son, talking about the fact that, you know, I was once where you were and I had dreams and I have hopes and I have aspirations. But now that I'm a bit older, I start to see what happens to those dreams and some of those things sometimes. From the father's perspective, he's just wanting to pass down wisdom to his son. He's wanting to pass down some of the experience to his son because he wants the best for his son. This is the hope for this father. But the son doesn't really want to listen. He doesn't want to hear. He doesn't even want to acknowledge. He'd much prefer just to sit in his bedroom and look at the wall, strum his guitar and do all that sort of stuff. I suppose there's a bit of a tension in Cat Stevens himself, as he probably felt like the son himself, thinking, I don't want to listen to my parents. What would they know anyway? Well, you know what, young people? If you could look into the future and know what was going to happen, you'd want to look at that, wouldn't you? Well, I think the challenge that we all have, is particularly of those of us who are older, is that we have the wisdom to impart. We are in a sense in your future right now. Now, if it's not your parents, even though I'm sure your parents would love to be able to talk to you about this stuff, it may be some otherwise person that you just seem to resonate with. People seem to have mentors these days. They can speak wisdom and guidance into young people's lives. But I would challenge you and say that, look, your parents, I'm not sure what your home situation like, but if you do have parents, even one parent, they're just wanting the best for you, and they're wanting to be able to impart something into your lives because they've been there and done that. They are now where you want to be in the future. So why wouldn't you want to impart your knowledge and part your listening to them as they share? And you know, if a parent is a good parent, they will listen to what you are trying to do, and they will guide you through that, as opposed to telling you what you need to do. I think the days are gone when parents would, say for instance, they were doctors and lawyers and they would want you to follow in their footsteps. I'm kind of hoping those days are gone a little bit, and that they're really wanting you to find your own path in the world. I think, you know, I know a couple of firms in the funeral industry, and very much we're talking about 100-year history of family ownership. And often what those firms do is they will let the kid go off and find their own way in the world. Just say, look, if you want to come back, there will be a space for you. I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. We need to have the room to be able to find out who we are as human beings, and we need to find out what makes us tick, because then we become rounded and we grasp the world for what it can be for us. This is what the song Father and Son is all about. If only we could bridge this gap of old people are no longer relevant. I think there's some real wisdom to be gained from the older people. So the encouragement for you guys who are younger is to listen and to gain the wisdom of years for yourselves. If you look at it from a totally selfish perspective, you gain stuff. You get stuff for free. Simple as that. So I trust that will all be an encouragement for you today. Now, Cat Stevens has just got one of these beautiful, comfortable, but compelling voices. He's quite a good guitarist as well, and he's an incredible songwriter. He writes songs that make us think, and certainly they are the best songs to have. I am indeed. You know, you have questions, and you have incredible lines, and you think, oh yeah, that's quite cool. Really, that's just the compelling nature of Cat Stevens. So on to the clips. We do have Father and Son. Now, again, off the T for the Tillerman album, the classic album from 1970. We've got two versions. We've got a live version of this particular song. And in the minute he starts that strumming, people just think, oh, it's this song. I'm so glad he's playing this one. And I also found an animated version of the story of this song. Really, really cool indeed. So I encourage you to look at both of those. We then got the song Moon Shadow. This came off the teaser and the Free Cat album from 1971. This is just full of scenarios. What if this? What if that? What if something else? Well, what if this was the case? This would mean that. Really quite compelling lyrics in this song. I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And so, again, a live version of this one. And when Cat Stevens performs, he just really just captures you and takes you along for a bit of a ride. So I encourage you to look at that one as well. And then we've also got Wild World. This again came off the classic T for the Tillerman album from 1970. That's actually live as well. So it's good to see pretty well a lot of live versions in these three for today. And as I always forget to say sometimes, the links to each of those songs are in the description below. I will never embed videos in my videos. I will always much prefer to drop the links. I'm finding doing it that way, I don't get videos blocked. And it's also paying respect to the artists who have given these incredible songs over these years. And for Yusuf Islam, who started his first album in 1967, inducted into the Songwriting Hall of Fame since 2019, he's been doing this thing for over 50 years. In fact, T for the Tillerman enjoyed its 50th anniversary last year. So well done, Yusuf, for bringing these incredible songs to the world. And by the way, I've also included a link to my last video from Carter and Carter. So if you want to revisit that one, feel free. Well, as always, I want these videos to be an encouragement to you. If these videos touch one person, they've done the job. And if you want to think, oh, gee, I wonder what he'd say about this particular song, notice the invitation tomorrow below that if you want me to look at a song, more than happy to do that one for you. And what I will do is I will drop the link into your comment so you can see it straight away. Well, that's it for today. Next time we're going to go on to a lady with one of the voices, really. It does not get much better than this girl, Celine Dion. So until then, I'll catch you around.